Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the 5 worst cars in Gran Turismo 7. Now, I am aware that there is quite a big list. We're going to be picking the worst of the worst. Okay, so starting with number 5, the Ferrari Testarossa. So yeah, I know this car is cool. I know it has a mid-engine flat 12, which sounds awesome. But let's just acknowledge some facts here. So it's one of the heaviest Ferraris in the game, weighing over 1.5 tonnes. Only being beaten out by the likes of the Ferrari 812 and the F12. It's proper big Grand Tourers. I mean, this 1990s kind of sports car is very heavy. And when I'd done the Ferrari tier list video a couple of years ago, I actually tested all the different Ferraris around Monza, and despite being 20 years newer and having more horsepower, it's actually slower than the 512BB. And on top of this, it's actually quite expensive, 450,000 credits. And for just maybe 100,000 more, you can get the much faster and much nicer, to be honest, Ferrari Daytona. So I think the purpose of this video isn't necessarily to make a car that's not cool, but more so a car that's just bad in the game. And to be honest, aside from liking the car personally, I can't really see a reason why anyone would buy this car. I mean, if you want to spend £450,000 on a car that sounds nice, fair enough, but there are many cheaper alternatives to do so that will also get you more use. I guess if you are a Ferrari collector or you like the car, I guess you can go ahead and buy it. And it's worth saying it's not the worst car in the game, it's only at number 5. So moving on to number 4 is the Dodge Demon, and yes, I know, another very cool car. A lot of people are excited for this car, at least me included. And you know, I admit it's a very cool car. I've got the supercharged V8, making lots of horsepower, proper American muscle in the 21st century. Like I said earlier, we do have to be a bit realistic here, and the fact is this is not a very good car. It's built for one thing and even fails with that, so as you know, it's built for drag racing. Unfortunately, maybe it's an error on Polyphony's behalf, there are no drag tyres in the game, so unfortunately all you can run is basically racing softs. You can get some okay times with this car, but not going to be the groundbreaking car like it's meant to be. And because the car is a brick, the top speed is quite disappointing. Sure, there are many cars in the game that even that aren't built for drag racing that would still beat this car. You can try to make this a kind of circuit car and take it onto different races. It's quite fun, but it just doesn't really perform well. All that power going to the back wheels, a recipe for disaster there. And the fact is that if we're talking about strictly in-game use, the Corvette will be better in almost every single way. I mean, unless you want some muscle car, but if you really wanted that, I'd suggest going with the kind of Dodge Charger, Plymouth Super, that route. As maybe they serve a similar use, maybe not as good, but at least then they're a lot older. One redeeming factor for this car is that it is relatively cheap, I think just over 100,000 credits, which even for a beginner isn't too bad in all fairness. I mean, if you really want to put the Bugatti Chiron engine in, you can, but why you wouldn't just buy the Bugatti Chiron to begin with, I don't know. So yeah, once again, it's not necessarily the worst car in the game, but it's just, if we're talking strictly about the amount of use the car can get, really it's not very good. Okay, so moving on to number 3, and this is a car that I think isn't actually very good, the Suzuki Jimny. But it's important to distinguish which Jimny it is, because the problem with this car is that there was a Suzuki Jimny in the game that was quite good, a bit underpowered, but obviously it's a small off-roader, quite fun I guess. Problem is they then added a more powerful version into the game, and that basically overshadowed the original Jimny, which is what I'm talking about, and basically made the older one redundant. Like I said, the car isn't actually bad, but there is a version that was recently added. I believe it was in June last year. So we're talking about the Jimny XC. The version that was added is the Jimny Sierra, but that's a different car entirely. So the older car has 63 horsepower, the kind of K car standard, but the newer car has 100 horsepower, a lot more. You've got to remember with these K cars, tuning is quite difficult, so you want as much power to begin with to kind of improve the tuning kind of exponential, I guess you could say. On top of this is the same, both Jimnys are the same year with the same configuration. So I'm kind of struggling to think of a reason why you'd buy the older one. I mean, yeah, it's 2,000 credits less, but they only cost about 20 grand to begin with. So it's hardly an expensive purchase. I mean, yeah, I can't really think of a single use that you'd buy this car over the better version. So for that reason, I'm going to say this is not a very useful car. So the second to last car is the BMW i3. Now, I've said before, I don't really mind electric cars. I think they get a bit too much hate. Yes, I don't think they're as good as petrol, but they're not too bad. I mean, the electric cars we have in the game are big and heavy, but they're also quite fast and very futuristic, so it kind of balances it out. You've got to have at least something going for the electric car, like the Polestar was recently added, quite powerful from Europe. The Athena got some use early game and it was free. So, they all kind of have some redeeming factor. The BMW i3, however, just doesn't really have anything going for it. So, released in 2016, it's one of the earlier electric cars in the game. At the time, I remember in real life and in Gran Turismo, was a step in a new direction for BMW. Problem is Gran Turismo is a game about racing, not necessarily real life. Top speed, however, is limited to 93 miles an hour. Can't even hit 100. So realistically, what use are you ever going to get out of this thing other than a kind of very short circuit? I mean, there are some electric cars you can actually use, but I think to drive this car, you will be driving it purely for the sake of that it's an electric car. And even then, you can be faced with some difficulty. The car, I think, is quite big, so that doesn't really help it on these smaller tracks that it's kind of designed to go into. On top of it, I don't really like how it looks. I mean, yes, it is relatively cheap, I guess, but we've got to be honest here, there are so many better cars you can buy that are more interesting, that have more use, and are all around just better. I mean, I guess it has some redeeming factors as mid-engines, maybe the weight reduction look better, and it's not that heavy. I mean, it's not exactly light, but it's not too heavy either. So maybe if you really wanted to... So I'm now going to talk about what I think is the worst car in the game. Out of all the cars in the game, you're probably thinking, well, there are a lot of bad Vision GTs. And I would agree with you, the problem is these Vision GTs are like a one-off. They're actually quite fast, much we hate to admit it. And, there is maybe some other redeeming factors for them. Alternatively, you can look at cars like the Fiat Panda and Unimog that are so slow, so unusable, that they're just not very good. But then at least they provide some comical value. So you've got to think a car that actually isn't very good in terms of like a kind of meme car, but also isn't just very fast to begin with. And I had a bit of a think, and I really think the worst car in the game is this Nissan Nismo R34 that was added a few months ago. So a lot of people are going to be shocked that I'm saying that a R34 Skyline tuned is the worst car in the game. Let me get this straight. The standard R34, while a bit expensive, is a fantastic car. For the horsepower that it has, it is an incredibly fast car. Four-wheel drive system obviously helps it, looks really cool, lots of tunability, fantastic car. I'm specifically on about the Nismo variant. Just the elephant in the room, 3 million credits is just insane. I mean, the amount of other cars you can get for that. I mean, if you wanted a 2000s road car, you can get Porsche Carrera GT, get the Ferrari Enzo, probably get two of each if you really wanted to for that cost. Or you can go and get the Porsche GT3 RS, you can get all the McLarens, you can get Lamborghini, all different sorts of cars. I mean, there isn't really many cars I can think of from the dealership that cost more than this, besides the Aston Martin Valkyrie. But I mean, that is one hell of a car. I think the Vulcan maybe. So I think, what are you paying this 3 million credits for? Because I'd like to know, if you're particularly a beginner who's really going to take ages to save up that money, what are you paying for? Well, it's got the standard R34 engine. They've tuned it up to 493 horsepower, so about 200 more than standard. I mean, besides that, it's same layout. If you look at the stats, it can't even hit 200 miles an hour. Acceleration is nothing special. It's even heavier than the standard version. So I'm struggling to think of a reason why I'd buy it. I mean, maybe you could go down the route of it's a tuner car, is cool. Problem is, like I said in a previous video, is the Mind Skyline was added. That's also 3 million, but you get over 600 horsepower. It can do about 20 miles an hour more top speed. It's lighter. It's like the Jimny in the sense that it's a better variant of the car. Instead of paying 20 grand, you're paying 3 million. What I'd advise you to do, if you have the money, is buy a standard Skyline for $500,000, spend another $500,000 on tuning and parts, and you can basically rebuild this car for a third of the cost. I'm pretty still have some left over. There is literally no reason why I think I'd ever drive this car in the game. So I think it does take the crown of the worst car in Gran Turismo 7. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and goodbye.